Y'all ready for this story time too? So this one is gonna be about when. Oh, this one I be iffy about talking about this one because it gets a little sensitive. Like it leads into something that's a little sensitive, and I don't want if like this come across the parties that were involved, well, the innocent party, so to speak, that was involved, and they take it the wrong way. But you know what I mean? It's my life. It's what happened, and you know what I mean. So boom. At this point in age, I'm in fifth grade. Fifth grade, about 9, 10 years old. I used to like this boy in school. Had a big crush on him, but we were on, like I had a crush on him, but I was such a tomboy that me crushing would just be like me just hanging out with you. Like when we was in school, it was a trio. It would be like me, him, and another one of our homeboys. So when we was in school, like the three of us would do everything together. Like when we in PE, we playing together, we da-da-da. So like you could tell I liked him, but it was never like no direct thing. It was only like a if you know, you know. So I'm gonna call the boy. What do I want to call him? I'm gonna call him Zion. Wow. Okay. So me and Zion. Okay. So in the trio is gonna be me, Zion, and Jeremiah. Just all the Bible names. So me, Zion, and Jeremiah, like I said, trio. We hanging out all the time. We playing da-da-da. We always was in the same class. Like the three of us that in that for fifth grade. You got your main class, you got your switch class. Well, in Virginia, where I'm from, you have your main class, you have your switch class. So like your main class, well, your first block or your main, the class you start your day with, which is the main class, I guess. And I think for me in the beginning half, it was like, I think I was in fourth grade. I wasn't even fifth or fourth grade. I can't quite remember, but I want to say it was fifth grade because we had that pool party at the end of the year. So yeah, I think it was fifth grade. But anyways, so first class is like your language arts and history, and then we would go to our switch class, and then it'd be like science and math. So boom. So we were in the same core class, like we were in the same class. Because they moved us, like whatever your main class was, they moved y'all as a group in school like that. So whatever class you started off the day with, y'all went to all the electives at the same time, PE, lunch, everything. Y'all went to the switch class all this together. And then you had your switch class, so it would be broken up in two parts. You have these sets of students that have a switch class, and then these sets of students that have a switch class. So we're on these sets of students that have switch class. So it's the trio, which includes me, that's in, we got the main class together. And then in our switch class is my best friend at the time. We gonna call her Lizzie. My best friend Lizzie at the time was in my switch class, and she also was in class with a girl that liked and was dating. I think they dated. Child, okay. So I don't know if they necessarily officially dated, but they would flirt. I didn't know about that, so this is the tea, and I was getting the tea from my best friend Lizzie at the time. So tea was, they all lived near the school. So they all lived it's a big circle around the school. So they all lived in that neighborhood around the school. I lived just outside the circle, and I never go in the circle until I'm going to school, or if I have like practice or some sort of like that for sports for my brothers. So I'm always, I'm just in my neighborhood, and my parents didn't even let us leave the neighborhood. So I'm always in my neighborhood, and I'm not knowing what's going on outside of school. So in school, would you say Monday through Friday, I guess he was with me, and Saturday and Sunday he was with her. So he was playing the field because we would be flirting in school, but I didn't know that on the back end until later on down the line. Lizzie told me, hey, them two got a little thing going together. I went to the park with them one day, and they all touchy, feely on the slide. And I'm like, well, me and him, we don't even do that. We just hang out together. We just have a crush on each other, but that's about it. I wasn't there yet, but the girl that he was on that type time with, we're gonna call her Nisha. Nisha, first of all, Nisha was always fast. Me and Nisha, we was cool. Like when I first got to the school, you know, she was pretty cool, but she was just on a different playing field from me. So we never like really hung out or was friends like that, but we knew of each other and was like, you know, like cordial, I guess, so to speak. We was never buddy. And like we only had the same class one year, which was when I first got to the school, and that was in like first or second grade. So my best friend comes to me one day when we in school. She like, hey, this the tea, this was going on. So I'm like, dang, okay. So somehow that same day, at this point, I'm wondering if it's like, how did Nisha find out that me and him liked each other? Because she won't in our class, so she won't see what was going on in school in the day. And the only middle person is the best friend. But we gonna leave that alone because I don't know. That's not mine, you know. That's not my. We're not friends now. But now that I'm looking at it, hindsight, the best friend might have been a messy one. But I don't know because we was actually pretty cool back then. You know, it seemed like it. But you know, when over the years, when you start seeing different sides, different things, like, were you really always ever really my friend? But nonetheless, I digress. So she tells me, you know, hey, this is going on. So somehow, Lord, I dropped a name. Okay, somehow Nisha finds out that, what did I say his name was? Zion likes me. I might need to write these names down, John, because I'm being forgotten and expose a name like I just did. So Nisha finds out that Zion likes me somehow. How? I don't know. And she finds out that, I guess, because I wouldn't even really call it flirting. We just would be, because it was a trio. We would just, the three of us would just do everything together. But me and him just had a clear understanding that we liked each other, but we never did anything more than just like each other. Because the same way I treated the same relationship I had with, Lord, what I say, Zion and who? Oh, Jeremiah. So the same relationship I had with Jeremiah, so the same relationship with me and Jeremiah, the same relationship with me and Zion. I had a boyfriend in kindergarten, but even then, I didn't even know what that, like, it's just like, oh, we just like each other, so we called each other boyfriend and girlfriend. That was that. So I was such a tomboy. I wasn't really into boys. Like, I would like boys, but it'd be like, you know, that's about it. Like, we just hang out. We just play together, and that's all it meant to me. Like, we like each other, we just play together. I went on that fast type time like Nisha and them was. So, anyways, somehow Nisha finds out that me and him be kicking it, and that, well, I don't even say kicking it, but me and him, when we in classes together, we always hanging out, and that we like each other. But little did she realize, like, it was so innocent, and then there was a third party. So somehow she finds out. So I'm in the bathroom one day, and then my best friend comes. She's like, yo, Nisha trying to fight you. I'm like, huh? She like, yep. Nisha found out that, well, I had other mutual friends that did live in that neighborhood that did know Nisha as well. So let me not put it all on the best friend now that I'm thinking about it, even though, you know, stuff did get a little messy around, you know, later on in life. But I'm not going to put it all on her, because when I say this part, I'm going to say this why I don't think she had anything to deal with it. She was just investigating, because, like, I think in the beginning we were really genuine friends. So she's like, Nisha trying to fight you. I'm like, huh? Mind y'all, Nisha failed like 3 times. Nisha is supposed to be in middle school with the folks I just told y'all about in the last video that almost got into an altercation with behind my brother. So she's older than us, and you can tell, like, she was well developed. I'm talking about the whole 6 yards. Like, even though we was in 5th grade, Nisha was looking like she was almost in high school. So she tells me, we're in the bathroom. So I'm like, I mean, I don't understand why she's trying to fight me, but okay. So she's like, okay, well, let's tell the teacher. So I'm like, okay. We go tell the teacher, and the teacher's like, okay, don't worry about it. Because I think she was going to try to fight me in a bus loop at the end of the day. So we told the teacher. Somehow she didn't fight me in a bus loop. I went home. I can't remember if it was that same day or maybe a few days later. Nisha found out where I lived at, Now, I don't live too far from the school. It is walking distance. Should some elementary kids been doing that, my parents would most definitely not have let us do that walk. It literally was just, it was across the street, but it was across a major street. But there were Nisha and her friends and they peoples. Like I said, she was older than us. So, you know, it was like her parents was like, yeah, you know, I guess you go walking or whatever. So anyways, we didn't fight that time, but somehow Nisha found out where I stayed at. So Nisha decides to come walking out there where I stay at. This is where things get a little tricky and sensitive, where I was like, I kind of don't really want to talk about it, but you know, for the sake of the story, I'm gonna touch on it. But at the end of the day, I hate that this had happened to the young lady, because she genuinely didn't have anything to do with it. But yeah, it was a really sad story. And what happened to the young lady, that hurt me. And then I ended up finding out like why y'all was even on y'all way to where y'all was. I'm like, well, what the heck? I'm sad about what happened to you, not knowing you was coming to, I don't want to say support, but I can't not say support your homegirl coming to fight me. So anyways, so Misha, another guy, and then another girl. Now the two girls, that the girl and the guy that Nisha's with, they're my age. We're all on the same age. I've been going to school with all of them since, like I said, since I started school, it was like 1st or 2nd grade. So in the process of them coming to my neighborhood, it's so crazy. Right outside of my neighborhood, that main street that you got to get across, why the girl ended up not Nisha, but the girl that she brought with her ended up getting hit by a car. She's still alive. She made it through, thank God. But it was a very tragic situation. It was really scary. It's really shocking to hear, and just to find out when I went to school, when they broke the news to us in school, because we seen it on the news, we was knowing what happened, and like I said, it was right outside my neighborhood, so my parents had seen what happened. And it's letting us know, like I said, we seen it on the news, like it was a really big event. So I go to school the next day, and everybody's sad, everybody crying, because they're like, you know, praying that the girl make it. And I'm like, I'm such an empath. I'm like, yes, like that's crazy. I hate that happened to her, And even even with the reason why they even came out there, I still to this day is like, I hate that happened to that young girl, and I wish she would have just stayed home. Genuinely wish she would have just stayed home. But so what was I saying? The girl ends up getting hit by a car. So the next day, boom, boom, boom. The school announces it to all of us, and we have a moment of silence. People are crying, people are sad. Even I'm like a little nervous. And then my best friend at the time, she's like, girl, you sad, but you don't know that they were walking that way because Nisha was trying to come fight you. That's the messy part. Nisha was trying to come fight me, and I think the guy that was with her, which I've known him, we actually got cool in high school when we all re-met, because I didn't go to the same middle school as everybody else, but I re-met them all back in high school. So I think they were saying the boy that went with him knew where I stayed, and he was actually a friend of mine. That's messy. If you ever see this, you messy whore. And you know what you are. Anyways, he yeah, but my best friend at the time, she was like, yeah, you know, they were going over there to fight you. And it's crazy because the mom told the daughter, she was like, don't go with them. I don't know if she knew why they were going. I doubt that she knew why they were going over there. She was like, no, don't go, you know, stay home and clean your room, da-da-da-da-da. But she still ended up going, and I hate that. To this, I really do. I genuinely, for the bottom of my heart, really hate that happened to her. But yeah, like that whole ordeal was so crazy, how that played out. To this day, I'm just like, but to all the parties involved, I hope a lesson learned. Because what is y'all doing? What, like, to be honest, if it did come down that I'm gonna call you Noah. Noah, if you was the one that was really, like, if it was like how it was reported to me, if you was the one that was showing where I stayed, oh, I know you hold a lot of guilt because you were a friend not only to Nisha but to me. So that means you was playing the fence, and I know you hold the guilt for what happened to that young lady. And now that I'm thinking about it, because like I said, we all reconnected in high school and different things like that, it's making me think that's why you was moving a certain kind of way when certain things happen. It's like, okay. But all I can say is that was divine intervention and protection. I mean, they were heading to a neighborhood that was right beside mine because they didn't know exactly where I stayed at. They just do a general, like they were going to go to the wrong neighborhood, but it was a neighborhood like right beside mine. But they ended up, the accident happened right outside my neighborhood, which is crazy. But that was definitely divine intervention. Tanisha, if you would have came to my house, you would have got more than what you anticipated, to say the least. Because if you watch my last story, you already see how things operate and go down. And once again, you were a big girl. Yes. So, well, I won't say big girl, but you were bigger than me, older than me, more mature than me. And here, obviously, you won't mature here because why are you fighting me over a boy? You need to be mad if you know that's who you rocking with. Me and you don't have no loyalty, no ties. We were just cordial. If you rocking with that man, you need to take that beef with that man, not me. Because I was an innocent bystander. Like I said, I didn't even know they was woo up the bam until best friend came and said, hey, this was going on. Then I'm like, once I found that was going on, I was like, oh, okay. I mean, we still was like, there was really nothing I could change about what we was doing because we were hanging out, but nothing happened outside of us just knowing that we liked each other. So you was going to come out there and fight me for nothing. And you was going to get dealt with and was going to look dumb. And you probably would have been in the back of the police car too, because you definitely would have got hit for trespassing. If y'all would have found my house, which y'all probably wouldn't have because y'all was on the way to the wrong neighborhood. But nonetheless, that's that story time. That one was a little juicy, not gonna lie to y'all. Y'all lucky I even heard that one because it's like I said, to me, it's a little sensitive topic because how things played out. But sometimes you just gotta let people know, hey, or God gotta show people, hey, this one mine's. Well, let me tell y'all something. I got family. I got a mother. I got a praying mother. I got grandparents that stood in the gap. Okay? So when it comes to me, especially because of the pure heart I have, like you can see even out this whole ordeal, I still, I'm finna say what I'm finna say, but I still like, I hate that happened to that child. But divinely protected. One thing's for sure, one thing's for certain. But yeah. So yeah, y'all, that was the end of that story time. Let me know if y'all want to hear some more of my little messy story times, child. Elementary was a time. Middle school, I got a little break in middle school. There's a couple of stories in there, here and there, sprinkled. But elementary, child, you would have thought your girl was out in them streets. And it literally was just because I just naturally had this energy where I can just get along with people. Because, like, I just have a heart. I just know how to talk to people. I know how to care about people. And people be needing that. And that's really what attracts people to you. Like, when you show somebody, like, hey, like, even if it's not like me caring to say, so to speak, like, I see you. You're a human just like me. You have feelings just like me. And I take that in consideration. You know what I mean? That's what I mean by caring. And once you see that and people realize that genuineness in you, it's just a light in myself that just shines. And, I have a lot of stories. A lot of people try to dim that light. But as you can see, like how this story played out, one of God's ones, one of God's children. If you don't know, now you know.